God is a holy child of God, and a holy child of God is invulnerable. So you won't even defend anybody because you know they really can't hurt nobody. Deep. There's a gap between you and me. Did you know that? There's a gap between you and me, and we fill it up with our false ideas. And so what's keeping us from being joined right now is the beliefs you have about me and the beliefs I have about you. That's what's filling the gap up between us. There's you, there's me, and then there's the gap, right? The gap is where you're putting all your thoughts about whatever is on the other side. So that there's her, and then there's the gap. The gap I'm going to fill with my thoughts about her. So all the false ideas that I have about her, that's the gap between me and her. And what keeps us from joining are my thoughts about her. So an idol is nothing but the false ideas that you put between yourself and everything around you so that you can stay separate from them. This book is deep. And when you attack a person, he says you're attacking them for what they represent. So if I'm attacking you, you represent something to me. That's why I'm attacking you, because you represent something to me. And if I attack you, what you represent to me is what doesn't satisfy me. I'm attacking you because you don't satisfy me. Now, when I say that, who will admit that kind of sounds a little selfish? Who will be willing to admit that you just really heard that? I'm attacking you because you don't satisfy me. I'm attacking you because you don't satisfy me. I'm attacking you because you don't satisfy me. You don't satisfy me. And you promised me you were going to satisfy. And that's what we do in special relationships, don't we? We just lie. We just go, we get somebody straight in the face and say, I promise you that I'm going to satisfy you forever and ever. I want to be the most satisfying thing you ever. I want to satisfy you. It's about satisfying you, baby. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to love you. I'm here to get you to be loved, to know you love. I'm the one. And then I used to get freaked out when they would be upset with me about the way that I act because I wasn't satisfying them. And I was the one who made all the promises. They would just want to hold me to the agreement. The bargain we made.
Yeah.
Even in the world, people make that okay. That's what people go to court for. You know, we had a bargain. You didn't do your part. We need to get some help on this. That's what we do in relationships. I promise you this, I promise you that. I'm going to be this to you, that to you. And then we get in the relationship, then we don't deliver because the person don't even realize that you can't make them happy, and you don't even realize you can't make them happy yet, but you won't know that until you get into the relationship. And that's what's so cool about the average relationship is it gets you to the point that you recognize you can't make nobody happy. And when you get to the point that you can't make anybody happy and you realize you can't make anybody happy, then you become happy.
And you relax.
And then you relax. And then since you're happy and relaxed, you start drawing happiness and relaxation out of everybody around you. And all of a sudden, the people who you never satisfied are like saying stuff to you like, you really changed. You're a nicer person than you used to be. And all you did was stop caring long enough to let you be happy.
Wow.
The happiest times of my life have been the times I've been called the most selfish by the people in my life in the past. When I was the happiest, when I was doing what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, loving what I was doing, you know, wanting to follow my own heart, do what I wanted to do with my time, my own way, I was accused of being very, very selfish. But it also was the happiest I ever am is when I'm doing what I really want to do. Don't you think that would be the happiest time for you if you were doing what you really want to do?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody fights a true idea. Nobody fights an idea like I really want to be free to do what it is I really want to do in my heart. That's a true idea. We don't fight true ideas. We fight false ideas. Why do you fight somebody calling you selfish? Because you know it's a false idea. Why do you fight somebody calling you no good? Because you know it's a false idea. Even if you believe it, it's still a false idea. Okay, any questions about the first paragraph? Yes.
I just want to say, I recently had the realization of like, you know, most women, maybe most men too, I've hated my body. And now I'd love to have that body that I hate, that body that could go hiking for 6 miles, which can't go hiking for 6 miles now.
I hear you.
I'd rather have that body and some, but on this other level, I'd rather have the body I have because that body was holding a lot of emotions that my body's not holding anymore.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now,
Yeah.
it might be a few years before I get to that 6-mile hike if I ever do again, but.
Yeah. And
But
what's so cool
it was
about
quite
it?
an awareness
Yeah,
about
yeah,
how silly it was
yeah.
to hate my body. I mean,
Well, that's what you're going. Well, that's why we learn. That's why we learn how to forgive ourselves, because when we wake up one day to see how much time we wasted,
Yeah.
we will really have to
Energy,
forgive
yeah.
ourselves.
Yes.
When you really see how much time you waste on grievances and upset and blaming people and believing you can't be happy and believing that right now is a beautiful moment. I'm talking to myself when I talk to y'all. He said, you're going to have to forgive yourself, because the temptation is going to be for you to be mad at yourself for wasting so much time on the idea of sin and guilt, because you use the idea of sin and guilt to keep you from having fun most of the time. That you're going to be punished by something for daring to feel joy.
But the way you are right now. Not
Yeah.
yesterday,
Yeah.
not tomorrow.
Not now. Yeah, right now. I found out that I got so tired of being afraid of the future that the best I could do would be to go, right now is safe though.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny when I started doing it, because I feel like any other perceived happiness could be taken away from me. Like if I said, okay, well, I'm gonna be happy tomorrow. I'm going to be happy next week, or maybe I hope I'm happy. I'm going to be happy next week. I realized that I wasn't sure about anything that was going to happen 2 seconds from now. But I realized I could always go, but everything's okay right now. Like right now, I can say that right now. Well, I don't know what's going to happen to old Rise tomorrow or even this afternoon, but guess what? I should have looked. It's safe right now. Mm-hmm. And I found that I found out that this very strange thing happened. There was always a now. Like I would go, I'm safe right now. Then I realized I had another one. Oh, I'm safe right now. Oh, there's another one. I'm safe right now. I'm safe right now. I'm safe right now. And so I found that I became so centered in the now, because I kept saying I was safe right now, that I became more and more safe right now.
Yeah.
And I found myself less concerned about what was going to happen tomorrow, because I wasn't preoccupied with the future, which was just a way of punishing myself. But then if I was going to think about the future, I'd just say stuff from the Course like, I place my future in the hands of God.
Yeah.
So if I think about the future, I go, I place my future in the hands of God, hands of love. So if you're going to think about the future, give it up. If you're going to think about your future, give it up. Say, I place it in the hands of the universe, whatever word works for you. I put it in the hands of God. I put it in the hands of, take it out of your hands. If you really want to have a good relationship, give it up. And when I say that, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. Just any kind of, give it up. Stop trying to be in control of it. So you can have it.
Wow.
Say, I'm having this relationship now. I'm feeling peace right now. I'm connecting really cool right now. We are not fighting each other right now. You see what I mean? Or if you think you got to go home and you're scared, go, I place the future of me going home to that joker in the hands of God.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, it's so cool. Oh, but this is the cool part. The next paragraph, there's some oxygen masks that will come down when you tilt your head a certain angle and you fall out dead. I have defibrillators in here, and I'll jump up and down on top of your head. How about that? And you work your way, because this next paragraph is a trip.
Okay.
Because this is gonna. How many of you out here know that you have a part of you that's a total control freak?
Oh my gosh.
And all of you who didn't raise your hand, we know you are too. It's okay. We all the same here. All right? Well, this is the trip. Here's the next. Check this next paragraph out. It says, the wearying, dissatisfying gods you made are blown up children's toys. Blown up children's toys. A child is frightened when a wooden head springs up as a closed box is opened suddenly. Or a child is frightened when a soft and silent woolly bear begins to squeak as the child takes hold of the bear. The rules the child made for boxes and for bears have failed him, which was basically they shouldn't have done either one of those things. And so it looks like they have broken the child's control of what surrounds the child. And so now the child is afraid because he thought the rules he made up protected him.
Yeah.
Now must the child learn that the boxes and the bears did not deceive the child. They didn't break any rules, nor mean the child's world is chaotic and unsafe. The child was mistaken. The child misunderstood what made him safe, and he thought that had left. Now that's one of those Course in Miracles paragraphs that's so deep because it's so obvious. So let's go back over there. Let's bring that down to our everyday life, shall we?
Okay.
Earl, what page are you on?
Page 633. Okay. Every person that dissatisfies me, and every person or thing that dissatisfies you, he says you're supposed to look at it as a toy that you've blown up. So everything that's making you unsatisfied right now, think of it as a what? Blown up children's toy. Everything that's upsetting you right now, pretend it's a toy. You have a toy upset. You have a toy relationship that's upsetting you. You have a toy financial situation. You have a toy health situation. Everybody with me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what classifies the toy? It's something that you think dissatisfies you. Because we've already heard that we are saying that thing dissatisfies us because we're trying to hide the fact from ourselves that we're the ones that's dissatisfying ourselves. Okay, so this is the toy, this relationship that I have with, I'll make up a name, give me a name, Carol. Okay, this relationship that I have with Carol is dissatisfying me. And I'm telling her what she's doing wrong because I don't want to deal with the fact that I'm the one that's making myself dissatisfied. So I've got a lot of thoughts about her that I'm using to interpret her that's between us. And these are all the false ideas and stuff I'm telling myself about her that I'm so upset about. Now, these are my toys. All of my upsets are my toys. So your toy box is nothing but your mind full of upsets.
That doesn't sound much fun.
That's why it's hard to hear, because we know it's true. Okay, then it goes on to say, I got in a relationship with Carol, and I made up all these rules for how Carol should act and what Carol should do and what Carol would be doing to betray me. And I had all these scripts for Carol, right? And so all of a sudden, Carol, when I least expected it, her head sprung open out of her closed box, and she opened suddenly. What does that mean?
Wow.
Carol actually did something that was beyond what I had made up in my mind that Carol should do.
Right.
Carol wasn't operating according to my rules. She was the little head that shot up out the box, and she frightened me. Right? She said I love it. He said the bear begins to squeak when he takes hold to it. But I kind of wanted that to happen. But anyway.